Psalm 133. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments. As the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion, for there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore.
Then Jesus came to them and said, All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
But to speak to what you were saying, if I may, why is it that we are heading, it seems, it's no longer any middle ground. You got to be on one side or the other almost, right? Why is that? It's almost like it's an interstate.
It's quite simple. Unfortunately, I think it's a bigger conversation than any of us here in it. And essentially, that's what our country does, right? Keep the people down here fighting while the people up here are enjoying life, right? And they're enjoying the fruits of the people's down here's work, right? Like, so, and it becomes this back and forth of who's evil, who's not, what's good, what's bad. But at the end of the day, just let me ask you guys this, like, because I'm so all over the place with a lot of the things that are going on. Who would you support in an election? Let's just not talk about this one, any election, right? Who would you support if there was just two guys, two gals, or whatever it may be, man, woman, just talking about their opinions and talking about what they were going to do for the country, right? Like, imagine a world where there were no parties. You can't be a Republican. You can't be a Democrat. You're just a man representing your opinion versus another man or woman representing his or her opinion, right? And I think too many times we don't listen to what the people are actually saying, and they are supported blindly almost, right? Because, depending on how you were raised, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you vote for the Republican guy, you vote for the Democratic guy, regardless of what he says or does, right? And I think that, to me, is the first part of divisiveness. It's like, what if I don't completely agree with him or him, right? Like, what if I'm somewhere in the middle? Or what if I'm, I'm not, me personally, I'm not for, like, party affiliation is a bad thing to me because it doesn't produce creativity, right? It's like, all I have to do is talk to my base. They will vote for me, and the other guys are not going to vote for me no matter what. So it almost becomes a game of, we live in a world where it's just constantly, I'm on his side no matter what, or I'm on her side or his side no matter what. And
that's why I said last week, I'm in the middle. I'm that guy in the middle. The crazies is on the left and the right side. Honestly, I think that there needs to be another party somewhere, to break up the conglomerates, because really, to me, it's this Michael Corleone and then the Tartaglias on the other side, right? That's all it is. And it's just flip-flops. Sometimes it don't flip-flop. Sometimes it's, the same party, and, it's a nightmare. But you know what? What I will tell you is that if anybody can't see the extremism that's coming out at this point, that's the reason why I said that I always do what I have to do for me, because people behave, because they have to. People have jobs. We're in the age of social media where you could turn around and do something and wind up losing your job if somebody catch you or whatever. So people get conditioned into believing that, hey, man, everybody's who they say they are. I'll give you an example. Every time I get an applicant for one of my rental properties, they all say the same thing. The animals trained. They're the greatest tenant I'll ever have. All of the script comes in. And then, 6 months later, a year later, a year and a half later, even, you know, you're throwing this person out. There's bed bugs in the apartment. The place is destroyed. They were smoking in it. They were, you know, and of course, then this script comes in. Then I'm the N-word all of a sudden, and or I'm a slumlord, and you know, all of the usuals, and you know, so I don't listen to none of that. I let, like they say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. You know, just let me see your numbers. Let me see your background checks. You know, and we just go off of that. All that extra fluff, to me, is no different than politics. They all look the same to me. And again, that's why Trump, you know, when he came on the scene, it invigorated people because people got tired of the establishment. You know what I mean? Right. And if you had an establishment. So when you have a guy saying whatever he wants to say, then he was representing the people, that the unspoken people, the unheard people at that point, you know, because you got your establishment types that if you're a Republican, checklist. If you're a Democrat, checklist. You know, if you don't believe this thing, then you can't be that. Trump came in and he was saying whatever he wanted to say. He was cursing out, you know, foreign leaders, doing whatever he wanted to do, and he had the money to back it. He didn't have to worry about endorsements from nobody. So pretty much he was able to just backdoor it. What do you think Kanye West, you know, if he was serious, feels that he could do what he can do, right? Why do you think that after, you know, Trump got in, all these celebrities were like, man, I can run for president now. I don't have to have a day of service in any type of political spectrum. And you know what, if I got enough money, and honestly, there's a lot of celebrities that I think would get in just because of their popularity.
You know what? If I may caveat, Mark, you know, there seems to be a close association, though, with celebrities and politics, especially on the DNC side of the house, on the Democrat side of the house.
Oh, absolutely.
If you look at the differences in the conventions, one of the major differences is that the Democrats had all these celebrities. They have celebrity, right? They want to influence you. Reagan was a you know, an actor, right? Schwarzenegger wasn't a president, but he was a governor, right? I mean, well, yeah, and he's an actor, right? So you often see an easy transition. Look at Kevin Johnson out of California. When I was in recruiting company command out in California, San Joaquin Mighty Warriors, top company, recruiting year 2012, plug, right? Kevin Johnson was the mayor for the city of Sacramento.